Chief Meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, it was another beautiful day in this streak of dry weather, and no one's going to complain about those sunny skies. By tomorrow, another good run at those 90s, but we're keeping our eye on the high pressure, as by Sunday we can see another triple-digit day. Now, summer is getting closer and closer, and we're seeing those overnight lows get warmer and warmer for a beautiful rodeo weekend, all the way down there, fighting back and forth between those 60s and those 50s. Made a good run into those lower 90s. You see how fast we're cooling off, about 20 degrees, and only a couple hours by tonight, leveling out in those 50s before we make another about 40-degree run up into those 90s. 71 in San Angelo, everybody else in a combination of those mid to lower 70s across the entire Concho Valley. Always looking for 10 degrees. 71 in Sterling City, 75 down there in Junction, but you see 78 over there in Robert Lee. Could be waiting for the temperature to update, but I'm going to go ahead and count 8 degrees across the entire region. So we're just outside of that 10-degree mark, but you can see some of those higher and lower spots across the entire region. Of course, dew points are pushing up into those 30s. For humidity indices are also in those 20s, so we're going to see how much they rise as we make our way into this evening, but no cloud cover as we're seeing a majority of that instability, holy cow, push off towards the east, but we're keeping our eye on a little bit of moisture that could fight its way back in by next week after we get past that 100-degree day. So we have a good idea of how long it's going to take us to get up into those peak temperatures, and then how much we're going to cool off with the colder weather right behind it. Now, the ridging is going to help us push all the way up into those triple digits. Now, here comes that long wave trough. That's where we're going to see those temperatures drop all the way down into those sort of upper, if not lower 80s. Then off towards the west coast, we're keeping our eye on this cutoff low because it's going to push down on the subtropical jet, and that's going to push a whole lot of instability up and across the Sierra Madres, and we'll see if we don't get any moisture as a result. Now, the water vapor imagery already showing you where the high pressure is getting ready to settle in around the four corners. You can sort of see it making its way in over across Southern California as it takes aim at Arizona. Here in the Concho Valley, you can see that cold air sort of trying to push down from the north, but it's running out of steam as soon as it gets past the panhandle in that typical fashion. Now, severe weather outlook has been sliding gradually from the west coast, is right now hovering somewhere around the Ohio River Valley, taking you down to the surface to get a good idea of the severe weather pushing through the area. Nothing but a little bit of flash flooding across this area. We're sort of waiting for things to dry up, and that dry weather going to be pushing out of the Concho Valley and heading off towards the east after this weekend. You can sort of see that atmospheric river setting back up over the west coast where the dry air is hovering around sort of that Nevada region. We take it into the future cast because we're going to keep our eye on the cold air that's going to try to slide its way in by the weekend. That's going to warm us all the way up into those triple digits. As we get closer towards that third week of April, we're always closing in on Easter. We're going to watch this instability, this sort of streak, this cold front slide across the Rocky Mountains. That's the one we have our eye out for, that instability that would drop us around that 20-degree mark. So tonight, dropping back down into those 50s, we have our eye on those pre-rodeo conditions. Then tomorrow, a good run at those lower 90s, but go ahead and make plans because it's going to heat up pretty quickly. So drink plenty of water, sunglasses, sunblock, and go ahead and make sure you find a good shady spot as we get closer towards rodeo. Temperatures are going to level out in those 90s, but I'm tracking to see how dry it is as we get closer towards Sunday. We're going to see how fast we get up into those triple digits. Now, we're starting out in those mid-60s, so it's going to be a good run as we get closer towards the beginning of the week. That third week of April, here comes that cold weather going to drop us down about 15 degrees or so, all the way down into those mid-80s, while those overnight lows are going to follow the same trend, going from those mid-60s all the way down into those mid-50s. Stay tuned. Over the break. You're watching KSAN News at 10.